Keto Pumpkin Crumb Cake. Pumpkin crumb cake is the ultimate keto fall dessert recipe. Tender low-carb cake with pumpkin and spice, and a delicious brown sugar crumb topping. The perfect keto coffee cake recipe. This post is sponsored by Bob's Red Mill. First keto pumpkin spice recipe of the season. It's September now, and that means I'm allowed to post all the pumpkin recipes my little heart desires, right? Starting with this delectably tender pumpkin crumb cake. I already have so many pumpkin spice recipes. I love pumpkin and fall, and all that comes with it. So many delicious keto-friendly ways to enjoy that big orange gourd. Like my keto pumpkin cream pie, a delicious light and airy take on standard pumpkin pie. Or my almost famous pumpkin cream cheese muffins, a healthier keto take on the Starbucks version. And don't forget about easy keto pumpkin pancakes, a welcome addition to any fall breakfast table. But this pumpkin coffee cake is truly something special. Tender pumpkin spice flavored cake with a crumbly streusel topping. Low carb and grain free, of course. And then I went and put a delicious vanilla drizzle over the top. Yeah, because I am all crazy like that. Keto pumpkin cake with a New York style crumb topping. Have you ever heard of New York crumb cake? It's an amazing coffee cake with a thick layer of brown sugar streusel. I'd say it's almost more crumbs than cake, and it's so delectable. I came up with an amazing version for my keto baking book, but you can't have that one. Not yet anyway. The ultimate guide to keto baking doesn't come out until December 3rd, although it's available now for pre-order. I haven't officially announced it because it doesn't yet have a cover, but it may be my pièce de résistance. Seriously though, the crumbs on the top of the cake, oh my. I was impressed with what I could do using Bob's Red Mill coconut flour and almond flour, along with the brown sugar replacement from Swerve. I replicated the crumb topping for a crumb cake almost perfectly. My taste buds did the happy dance. And then I had trouble getting that tender brown sugar crumb out of my mind. So I had to find a way to use it again. And now that it's pumpkin spice season, I think you know where I am going with this. Tips for the perfect keto pumpkin coffee cake. A proper crumb cake should almost be as much crumb topping as it is cake. While the pumpkin cake itself is delicious, it's the topping that takes it over the top. Pardon the pun. Both the cake and the topping contain almond flour and coconut flour. This really gives it the best consistency. You could perhaps use all almond flour for this, but you would need to triple the amount of coconut flour, which would increase your carb count considerably. For the topping, be sure to use plenty of brown sugar replacement and butter. It should really be like a very thick cake batter or almost like a cookie dough. It should not be dry at all, but you should also be able to break it apart into big crumbs. Instead of cinnamon, which is standard in crumb cake topping, use pumpkin pie spice. For the keto pumpkin cake, the combination of ingredients is important here. Protein powder helps the cake rise in the absence of gluten, so don't skip it. I used egg white protein, but you can also use whey protein. Collagen protein does not work well, it makes things gummy and hard to cook through. Pumpkin puree gives the cake its beautiful orange gold color. Pumpkin puree can differ brand to brand. There are nice thick ones and others that are quite watery. The thicker the better for a pumpkin crumb cake like this. Watery puree could make the cake a little soggy. If you do have a more watery pumpkin puree, try adding another tablespoon or 2 or 3 if necessary of coconut flour to offset the moisture content. Testing the cake for doneness. In most of my cake recipes, I tell you to bake until the top is firm to the touch. That test for doneness won't work here because the crumb topping is so tender, it obscures the cake. For this particular recipe, the golden color of the topping is one clue that the cake is done. It will be very golden around the edges. You should also use a tester and insert into the center of the cake. It should come out clean. Ready to enjoy some delicious keto pumpkin crumb cake? You won't regret it.